Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Leah with Ode to Paper, and today starts a small series on finding your mojo. This is a collaboration between Kelsey Webster and myself based on the Scrapbooking and Cards Today magazine series by Tracey, who is Mercy Tiara here on YouTube. We're going to have a video every Wednesday called Where Did It Go Wednesdays, and we will be featuring either a prompt from Mercy Tiara's series or a prompt of our own to help you get through your scrapbooking slump. I will have the links down below for the current videos from both myself and from Kelsey, as well as the previous ones, and after the 6 videos, Kelsey and I will both post a wrap-up video featuring the finished layouts we completed during the series. If you would like to play along, you can use the hashtag WDIG Wednesdays, and we will be able to find your videos and give you some encouragement. I hope you will join us for this series, and I look forward to seeing how you are joining in as well. For my first prompt today, I'm going with Mercy Tiara's prompt, Start Small. So in the video, she says to start with a 4x6 piece of paper and use that as your starting point. So that's what I'm doing. I have several sheets of paper here that I've put in my page kit. 2 of them are Recollections papers from Michaels. The other one, I'm not sure where it's from. I did not find a name on it. So it was in my stash, and we're going to use it up today. So I start with my 4x6 piece of paper with the blue marbling on it. And then I had this other grid paper that I'm going to use to mat that 4x6. So I have some decorations I have cut aparts from Doodlebug, digital embellishments from Nicole Jones 911 Designs. I have some bling and a couple of brads and some twine that I'm going to also add. So in completing this 4x6 piece first, I found that it really worked as a main embellishment for your page. So once you do that main embellishment, you really don't have a lot else to do. So I focused on creating 2 main clusters on that 4x6 piece, as well as my title. And it's also going to be where I place my date. You'll see that tab. That's one of those Nicole Jones 911 digital embellishments. The same with the viewfinder. I'll put some cameras on here. And yeah, so once you have those 2 embellishments on the page, it's very simple to then mat and add your photo and then create another cluster so that you have your triangle of clusters. So the main part after completing this 4x6 piece is just to figure out the placement on the page to go with the photo. And you'll see here I'm just adding in some of those embellishments. I have some of those flowers. They were also from the Doodlebug cut aparts. Now I have a whole bunch of Doodlebug cut aparts, so I couldn't tell you which sets they're from because I put them in categories according to color. So I really find that helpful. But you'll see on the left there is the cameras that I'm going to use. Of course, I have more than I need, but I can always put them back in my color containers. That's not a problem. So I'd rather when I put these page kits together, I have more than I need, and then I won't run out and don't have to go into my color containers while I'm working on a page. So the twine I'm adding is, it's white twine with gold threaded through it. Now I wanted to bring that gold in number 1 because it's in some of the Doodlebug embellishments. So that's just going to help balance it across the page. So yeah, I'm just getting this figured out. It takes a little bit of time to figure out the placement on this 4x6 card. So I get, it takes some time to cut out the digital embellishments. Usually I do them all at once. I'm not sure why I didn't do that this time. But yeah, so I'm going to add a second tab up there just to give it some interest. It doesn't really have to say anything. It's just some interest. I cut out the words on that speech bubble just to make it a little smaller because this is a small piece that we're working on. You don't need to use huge embellishments, and I already have that really big camera. So I wanted to make sure you could see that marbled paper enough so that it's part of the design, because it's the only place I actually use it on this page. So I've popped up that that text. It says, "It's a beautiful day." And I'm going to finish off that cluster with a small viewfinder, some stars, a heart, some flowers, an arrow, and another camera. And I'll get those all placed down with my art glitter glue that I love so much. It's my favorite adhesive. I do have more on the way, and up here, if you use art glitter glue, you know that it can't be shipped under a certain temperature. So, and where I'm located in northwestern Ontario, that temperature hits us a lot sooner than it hits a lot of people in the rest of the continent. So I have to make sure back in August that I have enough art glitter glue to get through the winter. So I have, I believe, 3 bottles coming. They're on their way. Just to be on the safe side. I'm going to add some bling. Some of these are old and from the dollar store, so I always use glue to put my enamel dots and my rhinestones down just to make sure that they stay. They don't pop off the page. So yeah, I'll do that. And then once that's done, it's going to take a moment to figure out the placement. And I decide to go a little bit wonky because it's a main embellishment, and because there's only one photo, I can easily displace them so that they're not totally square on the page. And that adds a fun element to the page as well. So I've got my photo matted. I'm working on matting it. I'll get it matted, and I'll find a spot for it where both of those elements are not square to the 12 by 12 page. And I'm fairly certain right shortly here I'm going to realize I still have that branding strip on the top of the paper. And we'll cut that off. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do it last. I don't remember. But yeah, so I have some more embellishments that I really like. And I'm going to, we've tilted them on an angle. And we're just placing that other cluster. So just figuring out the last cluster to make that triangle of clusters to draw your eye across the page. And there we go. I believe, yes. So I took the branding strip off finally. So here I'm adding the foam to the back of the photo just to lift it up, make it more of the focal point. It's not a big difference physically, but it makes a big difference when you're looking at the page. When you add a little bit of dimension to something on your page, especially if it's a focal point. Some of these Doodlebug cut-aparts have a very wide white border. I do cut some of those down. I'm not usually one for white borders, but I didn't really want to cut all of the white off of all of those pieces. So a little bit of white is okay. So I'm going to put that cluster together. I like that bow on the photo. I like to add a little part of the embellishing to the photo. It just seems to tie everything together really well instead of looking like you just made the page and then slapped your photo on it. So I'll get those cameras down. In that last cluster, I have the bow, the big heart, it says "with love," a viewfinder, a camera, a star, some more bling, and then I will also add 3 brads to this page that are gold stars. So we have 1 in each cluster, and the one in the cluster on the top is going to come down a little bit to underneath the photo because I wanted to add more of that twine to the layout, and I needed a place to tuck the twine. So between the brad and the twine and the enamel dot and a rhinestone, I've connected those to the top cluster to make them look connected. So yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.